So today we're going to check out the Woking Guitar Show. It's a brand new guitar show, and so we don't really know what to expect, but I'm travelling there today with my good friend Andy from Bass Chasers.
Bass Chasers, it rolls off the tongue.
It does. We're going to take a drive up there now. It should take about an hour and a half-ish, hopefully, if the traffic isn't too bad. So we'll see you when we get there.
This is like the really big bucks.
So now we're here at the Maybury stand with Jason from Maybury. Jason, will you please talk us through some of these, some of these guitars, please?
Not the basses.
Not the. I mean, we can have a chat about the basses if you want, but I'm not saying I'm going to cut it out, but there's always that potential. But we'll have a chat about the basses. I'm just joking. Show us some cool stuff.
Got lots of guitars. Got a range from sort of the top end of what I do, which this one's about 3.5. The one underneath is the bottom end of what I do, which is an upscaler made from all recycled, reclaimed parts, and they start at £1,000 to about 1,500, depending on the pickups and stuff that you have in them.
When you're making an upscaler, does the customer source the parts and that kind of thing, or do you?
Can do. Generally, I would, so for instance, that one, I sourced everything, but I've had people come to me with the neck and some pickups and say, this is from my old guitar when I was 15, really like it made into something that I can now play again, so I'll make a body, do all the setup and everything. In fact, I've just had 3 articles with guitarists where they sent me a neck and some pickups, and I built them the body and everything was set up, so it was like basically a perfect jigsaw for them to just put together. And that was as part of their mod squad thing, which was exactly what you're saying. Give me the parts and I'll build the guitar out.
That's a really cool concept of like your first guitar or whatever, and you don't want to play that because it's maybe not up to a kind of standard, but you can like breathe a new life into that and create something new.
Yeah, 100%.
Really, really cool.
I really like using that whole reclaimed and sustainable sort of concept.
I was watching Phil McKnight live stream, and it was an older one that I was just kind of rewatching, and he was talking about this idea of like in the future he thought that this would be the kind of thing that would happen, and I think you're the only person like really bringing that to people. So
maybe there's not many people out there doing it. I think there's like 2 or 3 other people that are doing stuff with but it's more with like skateboards and rather than the wood. I mean, that one's made from floor joists from an old 1930s house that was being renovated. I've got a whole stack of this timber from this renovation that was being done.
And that's like another whole sort of cool side of it. If you've got like some kind of sentimental, I don't know, like table or whatever it is that you could do, you can take like a part of that with you.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
In fact, the guy that was just on the stand was telling me about a piece of oak that he had from his house that he had renovated 30 years ago, and I was like, let's bring it along. Sure, we can do something with it.
There was it Ken Lawrence or something that did that from like, was it James Hetfield's garage or something like that? He like took part of it and turned it into a guitar for him, one of his like Ken Lawrence Explorers. I think that's such a cool concept.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, I use a lot of sustainable woods. So for instance, this one here, that's made out of 100% oak. So it's a white oak body and neck, and then it's got a bog oak fretboard. I mean, people think that these oak is heavy. It's not heavy. That's about the same weight as a standard Strat. This is one of my latest builds. It's got hip shot tuners and bridge.
What pickups are in here?
They are Mojo Charlie Christians. 2 singles and a humbucker in the bridge. Yeah, but if
Match the backplate. Oh, so magnets.
Yes,
Very cool. Hip shot bridge.
Hip shot tuners.
Bone? Or...
Yeah, bone. It's a bone nut. This is the reason that this one is on sale. So this is one of my old demo guitars that I've had for, well, since 2019. It's been in my studio. And I built this one, and I'm keeping this one, so one had to go. This is a poly finish, high gloss poly finish. It's got a Zebrano neck. Yeah, so obviously a quilted maple top. Mojo, I mean, the pickups are something else in this one. I love the square pole P90. It's really got something special about it.
The inlays look amazing. What are these?
These are aluminium and resin inlays, and this one has got phosphor bronze frets in it.
How much is this?
I think this one's 3.5. But a lot of that is to do with the finishing on it. And the pickups and everything. I mean, it's probably £300 worth of pickups in it. 150 for the Zebrano. You know, it all adds up. You've played this one.
I played this one. Did I play this at
the boutique? Yeah. So again, it's an old demo one, Swamp Ash. It's got a figured oak neck, sunset burst. It's got a figured ebony fretboard.
Is this like your thing, isn't it? The aluminium.
Yeah, these ones are brass and resin as well.
And then these are Mojo pickups as well?
Those are Sunbear, they're Beartrons. And you've not actually played this one, because this is the original guitarist one.
Different specs, different pickups.
Exactly.
Because the other one had Ibanez pickups, didn't
This has got Ibanez in as well, but these are Seymour Duncan designed ones. Got a different vibe to it. It's also...
It'll be easy to find.
No. You can't source them again, it's just whatever I've got at the time. But this one's string through as well, rather than a top loader.
And then we've got something for the evil people. How weird is it to make a guitar like this where you can't actually... I assume you can't play it.
No.
Because I have this thing with Lewis, like he builds all these guitars,
but in
but
reverse.
it's not actually be able to like try... I mean, they always come out really well and whatever, but it must be more difficult, or is it?
It is, and you know, twice I've made the mistakes, because when you make these, you have a routine that you go through. So you do the inlays, you do the side dots. So I've actually, on two lefties, I've made lots, but twice I've done the side inlays on the wrong side. And that's an absolute killer. Because you basically then, what have you got? You've got an offset, or reverse headstock neck that you can use on something else, but you can't use it for that guitar. So you've got to start the whole thing over again. So it's remembering that you've got to do everything in reverse.
It's one of those lessons that you only do. You make a mistake once or twice and then that's it.
Well, you say that, but again, I think it's like automatic pilot, because I'm doing this full time. I make 3 or 4 of these a month now. And
then what percentage of those are left-handed? Like a tiny percent?
Tiny, maybe 1%, if that, maybe 0.5% are left-handed. And so you do have to be well, now I sort of second guess myself all the way through. But that's what I guess why I don't charge anymore for a lefty, but other people do, and I can see why you would.
For that reason.
For that reason, it's not as straightforward as building a right one if that's what you're used to making and playing.
So you got some basses as well, some of these 4-string monsters.
I've been talking to a bass magazine about them, but don't know. I mean, these are going out the door anyway without any sort of articles and stuff on them. So again, you've got the upscalers, and these are like 1,400 for something like this. This one is made out of sweet chestnut and cherry, and that one's $3,000, I think, for that one, but completely handmade. Pickups are custom made by Mojo for that one with tortoiseshell inlays. Whatever you can do in a guitar, I can do in a bass, and vice versa. Yeah. So, yeah, they're cool. I mean, these inlays as well are. Oh wow! So those are like mosaic inlays. So that's like 1mm circles or tubes inside a 6mm, and then with the resin inlaid over the top. So they're a little bit different, and yeah,
I can imagine that takes a bit of time.
It's much more of a faff than just doing a single one with some resin in, but they look cool.
Oh yeah.
They look cool.
All right, so where can people find you? Online?
Online, Instagram.
What's your handle?
Maybury Guitars, and it's www.mayburyguitars.co.uk or .com.
And all the links will be in the description below for you to click and find out more about Maybury Guitars. So thanks a lot, and nice to see you again.
And you, sir.
So we're here with Lewis from LT Custom Guitars, and he's going to talk us through everything that he's got on his stand today. Lewis, hello.
Hello.
What we got
again?
here?
Right, from left to right. This is the new Privateer Classic. This is like our, I don't want to say entry level, but this is the first rung on the Privateer chain now. So single pickup, but nice, cool metallic paint jobs. Then we got our Privateer standards. We know those quite well. A YouTuber called Jake Lee did a really good video on them, so check that out. This is a Len back, so this is a really cool flip paint. Hopefully it shows up. That's Jake's personal P1, very cool. We've got the Pioneer P2 baritone in nuclear sludge. That's a cool sounding guitar. It's I say baritone, it is a baritone, it's 27-inch, so it's not huge baritone, but the idea was it would be comfortable enough for people who aren't experienced in baritones to play without getting into the 28-inch or 28.5-inch scale lengths. Then I've got one, just bought it, it's not quite ready yet, but this is for Jack at Alchemy Pickups. This is his Pioneer P2. It's got his little logo on the truss rod cover. Now, there's a video coming about this. I know it's a telly, but this is the telly that was with my really good friend and Jake's really good friend as well, China Mike, CGS, the China Guitar Skeptic, however people knew him. After he sadly passed, the telly sat there for a while, and we gave it a new lease of life by changing pick guard, changing the pickups, putting four-way switching in it. And now it gets gigged regularly by its new owner, Lucas Cook, who I'm gassing, don't know, probably, he talks a lot about pies and things. Short scale Pioneer bass. All a little bit of fun, as we say. If you're a fun sponge, this isn't for you. It just rolls on with the volume, with quite a hot Sunbear pickup in. That's a 30-inch scale. Then kindly lent back by Andy Duke is the Pioneer Bass 34, the first one that I built, developed with Andy. Here you can try it, play it, and there will be more of these to come in cool colours. Basically, the same spec, this Privateer Standard, as the right-handed one, just changing the top for quilted maple rather than flame maple, which is one of the options. And just because this is kind of staying as my one, I didn't bother either putting the humbucker in a coil split or series parallel, just because I wanted full fat humbucker. So other than that, the neck, again, like all Privateer Standards, is stained to match the colour of the top. So, and who doesn't love a blue guitar? Blue guitars are the future.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Lewis. Lewis, where can people find you on the internet?
So you can find us ltcustomguitars.co.uk or Instagram, and Facebook is just LT Custom Guitars.
So now here we're with Jack from Alchemy Pickups. Hi, Jack. And he's going to run us through some of his pickups and some of the stuff that he makes. Jack, tell us about your stuff.
Well, first off, I've started offering pre-wired scratch plates. This one's loaded with pickups. Nice shot of the wiring.
Yeah,
Trying to make it extra tidy for the show.
For people like me who are just like pretty useless at soldering, but can just get by just doing those like 2 or 3 little connections.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Yeah. So you can get these loaded with pickups or just unloaded with all this guff sorted, and then just put whichever pickups in you'd like. We've got a nice standard PAF humbucker. This is my evocation model. It's a late 50s Gibson. It's not so much a replica as it is trying to capture the sound of the actual guitars, because I mean the pickups from the late 50s at Gibson were sort of all over the place anyway. They were using whatever magnets they had to hand. And
because I know DiMarzio do a similar thing, don't they, with their PAF type thing. They use like different kind of magnets and but they get the same kind of similar sounds.
Yeah, so what I do is I have 2 models. I have sort of a brighter sounding set with a really thick vintage neck. So it's got a bright bridge for like sort of raunchy classic rock, and then that really dark kind of thick Gibson neck sound. And then I have a sort of lower output, warmer bridge, more transparent neck. That sort of suits an ES335 sort of thing. Sounds great in a Les Paul as well. So yeah, I've sort of done 2 different tapes on the late 50s Gibson style without just trying to copy all the specs. Like the brighter set's slightly higher output than an actual late 50s, but it pushes the modern amps and has that slightly compressed top end that gives it the sound that, like, obviously on the older recordings, the warmer sounding recording equipment they had back in the day, it captures that sound a little better than just if I faithfully recreated a late 50s pickup.
It's very cool. What is this?
Now that,
I love the look of this already.
Under the hood, it's just a normal Hartshorn bridge with it's got an oversized ceramic magnet in it just to fit the slugs, the button head pulls. I know it looks kind of invaderish, which is basically anything with button heads. That's just what people say. But yeah, threaded them through the cover just to get it. This looks a little bit more classy, but still looks really aggressive. So make a massive difference just to the aesthetic of the guitar.
It really does. And people might see that as, I don't know, shallow or whatever, but it's important. It does matter,
important.
Really.
And it's like, you can turn just a normal looking, just say like a Les Paul. Stick one of those in the bridge, and then all of a sudden it looks like a metal machine. And it'll sound like it as well. It's an 18K oversized ceramic pickup now.
So slightly hotter than an Invader, which is that around sort of 16 to 18?
Yeah, it's slightly hotter, but then obviously
about the same.
And then these are just humbucker size P90s in case you bought the wrong guitar.
And do you find there's like much of a difference in sound between an actual P90 versus the humbucker sized equivalent?
Honestly, not really. The bobbins that you can get a hold of these days, they're so similar in profile to an actual P90 bobbin, and it's just 2 bar magnets. So it's basically construction-wise, almost identical.
Yeah. So if you have bought the wrong guitar, all is not lost.
No, and I do slightly adjust the winds to calibrate for the fact that the bobbins are very slightly different. But yeah, broadly speaking, that's the most true. Is going from a P90 to a Humbucker-sized P90. It's basically just like you've put a P90 in, but you don't have to mess about buying a different guitar, changing any routing or anything.
What are these called?
They're the Regia, these ones. So these are. Again, a sort of vintagey 50s Gibson sort of thing, really warm, all Alnico too. Most of the P90s I do are magnet blends, just because I like you can get an interesting voicing out of it. So my other vintage sets are a blend of Alnico 2 and Alnico 3 in the neck, and Alnico 3 and Alnico 4 in the bridge. Gives you a more sort of transparent and more complex sound.
What are your most popular ones at the moment? It seems like they're the Hearts ones, because I know I've spoken to a few people and they've got your pickups in already.
Yeah. So they're probably the most popular with the Luvias of the Hearts ones, definitely. They can sort of do everything.
Yeah.
You can put them into like extreme metal and they'll hold their own. They sound nice, clean, really good clean sound, especially from the neck. And they'll do classic rock pretty well. In the aftermarket, people buying pickups to put in things. The Avocations are really popular for the sort of Gibson crowd.
And if people want to find you online, where's the best place to find you and contact you and learn all about your stuff?
So alchemypickups.co.uk is the website. Email's usually the best place, just because then you can really get into the nitty-gritty of getting custom sets designed, and I can refer back to it. So you can have a bit of a back and forth over a couple of days. Instagram as well.
Cool.
Instagram at Alchemy Pickups.
Jack, thank you so much for running me through everything. So now I'm here with Jack from JC Guitars. Hello, Jack.
Hello.
Do you want to run us through this pretty selection of high gain monsters?
Yeah, so we can start from this side if you like. This is probably the least extreme one. This is basically like a slash version of a Les Paul.
I was going to ask,
pointier.
is this, obviously it's based on a famous single cut, but is this a slightly smaller body?
Slightly smaller.
It is.
Bit sharper, and it's sort of your traditional stop tail and that. We've got this baby grand bridge.
Me and Andy were looking at it and we were like, it is slightly smaller, isn't it? It's always like
ever so slightly.
10%. Yeah. Love that.
And then some nice woods, which I really love. All about the nice woods.
And what pickups are in this?
So these are Seymour Duncan slash signature.
Right.
The
ones in there.
Alchemy 2s.
Yeah, they're really good. They can get a bit muddy if it's too much gain.
Yeah.
So for a rock guitar, they're great.
Love the zebra look on it as well. It just fits it so
zebra bobbin too.
Yeah.
So you can see we get a bit of sunshine on it. So we get a bit of satin look. I don't like anything too shiny.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do shiny, but it's not really my thing. I prefer the wood to be a bit more natural, a bit more raw.
Especially when it's wood that looks like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just got a bit of colour.
Yeah.
And
Love that.
good stuff there going on. But yeah, good solid Les Paul kind of guitar, really. Not that we can call it a Les Paul.
Oh, I'll beep it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. The swear word.
Yeah.
This is a thin line. I'm going to say what it is.
Thin line T-style.
T-style guitar. So it's all chambered inside to match the belly carve on the outside. The unique selling point of this is all British hardwoods. So we've got sycamore and elm, sycamore neck, and bog oak, which I really love. It's partially fossilised, about 3,000 years old.
Wow.
You get the wood on it, all the binding. And the pickups are mounted directly in the body through a cavity. So no pickup rings, just brass and nice woods, really.
Who makes this hardware?
Me.
You make that yourself?
So I make all the bridges and the knobs and the switch tips. So I've antiqued the covers themselves. So if I get a real raw cover, you can antique.
Yeah.
So same way, yeah. I don't make the pickups or the machine heads, but everything else made in house. So got a big brass ferrule there, big brass bridge, brass nut and bronze frets.
And what pickup size?
These are humbucker size P90s from bare knuckle. I think they're really low output pickups, but they're killer. They spank all the way.
Yeah.
Got like really clean tones all the way to the full gain.
Yeah.
It cuts through really good.
So this one here.
This is one of mine. So this is called a Neo, and it is basically a very subtle multi-scale guitar. It goes from a Fender scale length to a Gibson scale length. So the idea was being something really familiar and comfortable to play to anyone who's played.
I did notice, like, straight away, there was no time to adapt or anything like that. It was just straight away like, oh, doesn't feel like a multi-scale.
Now, a lot of people don't know until it's that subtle. But the idea is that's why it's got a Neo, being new. It's a mashup of, twin humbucker, bolt-on, Teddy-style guitar, but with a multi-scale. It's nice and familiar. It's nice singy pickups. And it's good.
When I picked it up, I was like, this is one of the most solid guitars I've ever felt.
It's been played quite a lot today, actually. It's a lot of love.
Yeah. So, and what pickups are these?
So these are bare knuckle True Grip. So they're sort of they're cheaper range ones, but they sound really good, and it's nice and zingy. Again, they cut through.
Do you make the?
So knobs and the pickup veneers all made out of the offcuts of the body.
Yeah.
So no waste.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Yeah, so
It's
good.
much better in sunlight, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, black limber and sort of multi laminates.
So this one here is another Neo.
Yes.
But more.
This is an extended range 7-string Neo 7. And this one is just the same as Neo, but a bit more aggressive, a bit more of everything, really.
Same, different pickups.
So different pickups. These are Seymour Duncan Alpha Omega Genty pickups. Again, made all the veneers and the knobs. Pickups, bridge and what have you. The inlay
It's mad.
It's all glow in the dark as well, so
Wow.
can't really sit in the sunlight.
Yeah.
At night, you can.
But it's getting plenty of charge.
You can go out for a bite to eat and you'll still be seeing that one.
Yeah. So on the same on the back there.
Oh, wow.
That's all glow in the dark. Colour match.
There's some serious attention to detail, even just
Yeah.
like put it on the back. No one's going to see it on the back, but
No, I just
it's
decided
so
it'd be
cool.
fun. Why not? Had a bit left over.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a proper machine, this one. Really light as well. It's totally balanced.
Yeah, that's very cool. I love that. And this last one's like
Last
a
one.
traditional kind of.
It's a telly, but I wanted to do something a bit like a paisley pattern where they put a fabric top. So the fabric I went for was carbon fibre, which looks great in the sun.
That is
Really good on stage.
Really cool.
Reverse headstock, flame maple neck, and nice control covers. Who does like a bit of flamey maple?
Love that. There we go. Thanks so much, Jack. Where can we find some more information about JC Guitars?
So you can find me on Instagram at JC Guitars, or you can find me on my website, jcguitarcompany.co.uk.
So next up, we've got my friend Rob from RD Amps. This is Rob. Hi, Rob.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Are you going to talk us through what amps you've got here today at the Woking Guitar Show?
Okay, so we've got a Duelist head, which is a flagship amp model that we build. Comes in 2 chassis sizes, slightly larger one for bigger tube sets. We've got the Duelist XL, which I think you checked out Lewis's white version.
There's a full
So
video
that's,
on my
that's
channel.
basically a derivation of the Duelist, but with some changes.
What changes have been made?
We shifted taken the tone stack out of the early stage in the circuit, replaced that with a fixed EQ network, and then we've shifted the usable tone stack to the end of the preamp chain, introduced a bit more gain, and that just allows you to get more extreme kind of tone settings, really. And the custom 8-ball essentially is the single channel clean version of the Duelist. So it's a single mode Duelist, but just designed as a pedal platform. That one's in a combo. And then we've also got a floor preamp of the Duelist amplifier.
Famously used by Helen Pauley.
The cheese version, yes, the cheese version. So that's essentially a complete preamp of the Duelist, but without the power stage. Cool. Which is ideal for if you want to do recording or you're playing at home, stuff like that.
Is this any different to the cheese version, or is this?
The circuit is exactly the same. With the cheese one, we just oriented it 90 degrees and put the transformers and the tubes come out the back. So I'm probably going to build another one of that purposely to maybe go into a pedal board case.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Maybe a nice wooden case and some space for some other boards. I wanted to get some speakers that were unique for us, really. The cost implications of doing that ended up being completely outrageously bad. So I got in touch with a guy that used to design for Tayden speakers and had a discussion, and he was able to put a little rig together to be able to set up building some speakers in his workshop. And he also found that he'd been kept for a very long time a stash of 44 original 1971 Pulsonic cones that had been keeping for a rainy day. And so that's what this is. So essentially it's a version of the G12H that would have been around in the late 60s, but with the original Pulsonic, new old stock Pulsonic cones in them. They're still stamped 1023, which period-wise that puts in about 1971, 72. And it just sounds awesome. It's just really sweet and balanced. Yeah, good speaker.
And if somebody wants to get one of those from you, how much of it?
Yeah, well, I'm selling them for $360. We've only got a limited number of cones, so I've got another 33 cones left. We've sold most of the first batch. I've got 2 spare today. Basically, they'll be to pre-order once we've sold those 2, because we have to do them in a batch, maybe 10, to get the chassis sprayed and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, a really interesting piece of guitar speaker history. It took a long time. Most of the other speaker software is Kurt Muller. They didn't want to sell it to us to begin with because it was such a small quantity, but we told them what we were doing and that we got the Pulsonic cones and there was a real history to it. And eventually one of the guys said, yeah, okay, we'll sell you 250 sets of remaining software for the speaker. And we only needed 44 at the most. So there we go. But that was... that's a really interesting story, and it just sounds really, really nice.
Well, Rob, thank you so much. Where can everybody find you online?
rdamplification.co.uk. Should find us quite easily. And those particular amps, we've still got specs on that on there.
Brilliant. Cheers, Rob.
Take care, buddy.
So now we're here with Darren from Daniel's Guitars, and he's going to run us through his line of guitars. Hello, Darren. If you want to just talk us through a good handshake.
Yeah, exactly. Well, basically, I'm down to my core models, really, of my Pugilist, which is everything I make is based off of want how I want like an old Gibson feel. I want the feel and the tone and everything of an old Gibson. I just don't want the weight and the clunkiness. So when it comes to single cuts, everything's sculpted. They're lighter, they're slightly thinner, and yet I still get the tone.
Oh, that's really good.
No,
Yeah.
my new ones are lighter than that.
That's amazing.
So, like Lewis's, that gold top there is 7.2 pounds.
That's brilliant.
But the thing is, like what people don't realise, like I'm rebating the binding into the neck, so it looks like a normal one. Yeah, it's a full width tenon, so the neck's glued in, and they're not a straightforward build. You know what I mean? But if you want it to look right,
Yeah, of course.
like that.
Yeah. Do you know what I love that you've done? I think it's so hard to get a good headstock on a single cut style guitar, and you've done it. Like this is.
Well,
You must be happy with that.
Yeah. But I mean, that's like the third kind of sort of tweak to a headstock. So I just know that the first thing I did when I wanted to build a guitar is I wanted to straighten the string pull out through the nut, but I don't want it totally straight because I don't like the look.
Yeah. Whereas like the PRS have got that kind of-
So this is like a compromise between like the best of aesthetics with functionality, like a design. And so that's a single cut, or the carved top rather. They're called the Royales. And then this is the gold top I built Lewis. This is the other game changer as well. I only use Mojo NOS wire PAFs and P90s for these models anyway. So if you want an old tone, like a proper vintage tone, then use those. This is my personal guitar really. This is all I've been playing, but it feels like a Les Paul. So when you pick it up, feel it, it feels like a Les Paul.
Oh, yeah, it really does.
Right, but it's more comfortable.
It's so weird because you expect it to feel like a offset kind of Fendery type thing, but it's totally different.
That's why I've got rid of all my Fender hardware. But I do a 59 version of this that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
This one has got a master volume, master tone, and a blend pot here. So what that does is it will blend. If you back it off, it balances these with the humbucker the best, the split coil, and also the more you blend, then the more out of phase tones you get in like the other positions. I've actually gone to a 6-way position switch now, so they're like this. Sorry, rattling on, but this is great. That feels like a Les Paul too, right?
It really does.
But the switch is just a game changer for me. It's a 6-way, three at the bottom, 3 at the top. And this one's got a blend pot as well. So it puts this and this in series, that and that in series, and a combination of, so down there you've got that, in the middle you've got those two together, the bridge and the neck, that's in the middle. Then you've got what would be like position 2 and 4.
Yeah.
But when you blend, then you start sounding more out of phase, you get loads of more tones.
That's genius.
It's so good.
And which one takes you into reverse? This is. I love this.
This is a prototype for my Gravitas, really.
That is stunning.
Originally, I had a trem on it, and I took the trem off because I didn't like it. So I just plugged it, and like I say, it's a prototype, but it sounds and plays great. Well, my new one is the Gravitas. Right? So that's one I've had a review in a magazine for.
Oh, okay.
In Guitarists. But that one's built like a Firebird. My Gravitas built like a Firebird.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm a Gibson guy, and I like old Gibsons. But I don't want an old.
Oh, you couldn't tell.
No. But I don't want an old Gibson.
Yeah. You want to give some? I'll give some about all the baggage that comes along with it.
Exactly, yeah. The weight, the clunkiness,
The string through, and the nut angle, and that. That's brilliant. So, if people want to find out more about your stuff,
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, or my website.
what's your handle on Instagram?
Just Danish Guitars.
Brilliant. All links will be in the description below, and we will move on. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
So I'm here with Chris from Franklyn Guitars, who's been on my channel before. Chris, hello. We're going to run through all the guitars quickly that he's got in his booth, and a bit later on I'll add in some playing as well. So, Chris, please talk us through what you've got here.
Right, well, the basic idea is the Skybeam model I have, which is based on what I wanted a Strat to be. So we've got bevels going round, we've got an access carve at the back, a headstock that tilts back for the string tension without string trees, and humbuckers and no trim, although a trim option is available. This one is based on the colour of a Ford Focus ST, and it's called Tangerine Scream.
I love this guitar. Everyone always comments when I talk about Franklyn Guitars. This is the first one that everybody always mentions.
Okay.
It just stands out so much.
Yeah. So that's
I made a video for this one.
You have made a video for that one.
I'll link to the description in the description for the video for this.
And there's a more stripped down version as well with a single pickup. This is a bare knuckle True Grit P90. Apart from the hardware and electronics, it's pretty much the same deal. Easy to play, but a lot simpler and without too much fuss. These two are basically the same. This is a more highly spec'd left-handed version with Sustainiac and a Vega trim. So it's pretty much the same deal. Going along with the same idea of the tilt-back headstock for the string tension. So we've got bevels for comfort. And I've all gone with a single Music Man style pickup, although they're all three different ones. It's positioned under where the 36 Strat would be. I don't know if that makes a difference, but Paul Reed Smith seems to think so. And I just picked three different pickups just for these models, just for show, really. We've got just a basic Wilkinson one in this one. I think that's Wilkinson as well, but it's a mixture of a jazz bass and a Music Man, and it's switchable between the two, or you can use it as a humbucker. And this one mixes two different types of magnet. Again, you can switch between the two or use it as a humbucker.
So, if anyone wants to find out more about your guitars, where can they find you online?
I have a franklinguitars.com website, or on Instagram. You can look for Franklyn Guitars or Chris Franklyn. I've got two accounts. One with more sort of showy photographs, one with more progress sort of stuff. And it's Franklyn spelt with a Y.
So you got two Instagrams to make it difficult.
Yes.
Franklyn spelt with a Y to make it difficult.
Oh yeah, and then I just put FKYL. No, I didn't even say it right, did I? Branding to the max. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Yeah, cheers.
Wait.
Oh, you wanted that one? Yeah. Sorry, yes. Skybeam Mini. This one, again, single pickup, push pull. It's similar Duncan JB, which never let anyone down. I don't think that pickup. Again, we got the bevels, nice cutaway here, and yeah, at the moment this is tuned to E standard, but it could easily work as G to G, like a Turs.
Yep.
Like is it Billy Corgan who plays? Yeah. Works like that. There was one more thing I wanted to say about this, but I can't remember now.
If he remembers, we'll add it in.
Yeah.
So the Woking Guitar Show was yesterday. I've made some notes here because otherwise I'll forget something that I want to mention. But I do just want to say that I had a really good time there, and just with all the filming and running about and stuff, I've probably only got to about half the exhibitors that were there. So if I didn't get to you, I'm really sorry, but everybody's display looks really impressive anyway, which I'm sure you'll see in the B-roll and that kind of thing. But hopefully it was the first of many shows to come as well, because it was the first, it was a new show, and it seemed like it was pretty successful. So hopefully going forward it won't be the last. It was a small show, but it was busy. It seemed busy all day, and that was part of the reason I weren't able to get to some of the people, but as well as myself being busy running around making content, the actual exhibitors themselves seemed quite busy, so I didn't really want to take up too much of their time. But yeah, and also it was really nice to meet some people that I'd spoke to before, but I haven't actually met in person or spoke to in person, like Jack from Alchemy Pickups. It was really nice to meet you, and Anjay from yet another guitar channel. Definitely, I'll put links to his channel in the description. Check him out. He's got a really good channel. It was really nice to finally meet you, and I'm hoping I'm saying your name right, because I'm paranoid about that kind of thing. Yeah, I'll make sure to put links to all the exhibitors that were there, even if I didn't get around to speaking to them. And if I do miss you out for whatever reason, just make sure you let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure to update it in the description. And if you found my channel through this video or the Woking Guitar Show, then please consider subscribing. I make guitar related content all the time, and it helps me make more of that kind of thing, so it's really helpful, so thank you. I definitely highly recommend checking out this video here, or this one here, which is about the content creation rig that I used yesterday to capture a lot of the stuff that was going on. Yeah, anyway, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.